Hey, it's Paul. Welcome back to B&B Talk. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button. All right, pretty interesting episode, so I'm going to jump right into it. First, we see Ivy, and she's telling Steffi she saw what happened, and she said it's because of her that Ali died. Now, Steffi is a little thrown, and she's on the defense, and she says, obviously you didn't see the whole thing, or you wouldn't be questioning me like this. And we know Steffi's got a point because we all saw what happened and it was self-defense. Now, Ivy tells her point blank that she's responsible for what happened to Ali. And then Steffi explains to Ivy, it was Ali that was out for revenge. It was her that ran her down. It was her that had all the creepy photos with her face crossed out and a nail put through it. It was her that put a nail in the tire of her car. And all the harassing was from Ali. So she makes an appeal to Ivy, but Ivy's not hearing any of it. And Steffi says that she was trying to defend herself, but Ivy says that she didn't lose her footing. She asks her point blank, what's your story? What happened? And eventually Steffi gets pretty irate and she says that she did nothing wrong. Now after that, we see Caroline, and she's telling Ridge, they're talking about the memorial, and she says there's nothing worse than losing a child. And obviously Ridge concurs because he lost a daughter as well. It was Steffi's twin sister. Now Thomas arrives and he confirms that he's moving back to LA. Now we see that Ridge is reluctant. If you remember, Thomas had the hots for Brooke, and at one point they had sort of an acid trip fantasy sort of thing where they're not sure whether they hooked up or not. So Ridge remembers this all too well, so he's very reluctant to have him come back. Thomas goes even further and says that he's tired of crunching numbers and he wants to join the design team. He reminds them that he had the Taboo line at one point. He owns 5% of the company, and he tells them that he's been honing his craft. And Thomas asks them if there's any room for him on the team, and Ridge reluctantly agrees and says, you'll have to show us your stuff. So there's really a bit of tension, and you can tell Thomas has designs on Caroline, and I think we're going to find out really soon. And we see Wyatt and Liam, and they're talking about the senselessness of Ali's death, and they're both worried about Steffi. Now obviously Liam's worried about Steffi for a different reason than Wyatt is, because Wyatt knows about the video. Liam reminds Wyatt that Steffi has him to lean on. He gets a little paranoid and thinks his brother's trying to scoop him, and Wyatt takes offense to this, knowing obviously that he's looking out for Steffi's well-being and keeping her out of jail. But Wyatt implies that Steffi might be blamed in the future, and Liam doesn't really understand this. He says Steffi has nothing to feel guilty about, and he leaves it at that because Liam doesn't know the other half of the story. Liam and Wyatt walk in on Ivy and Steffi later, and it's a little tense, so Wyatt takes Steffi outside, and then we see Liam, and he starts to break up with Ivy. This guy hasn't got a clue, I'm telling you. Ivy can't believe it, and she is pissed at him. Then she tells him if he wants to be with a woman with no moral conscience, then good luck to him. Good luck with that. And that's it. She's not having any of it. She saw this coming, and she's not happy about the timing. She explains to him, we are at my cousin's memorial. Look at all the pictures. This is when you want to break up with me. But we've never given Liam any credit for having any brains, and he hasn't let us down yet. Then we see Liam with Steffi, and he tells her that he didn't want to string her along, and now was the time to do it. And he said that he thought that they were talking about the breakup when he walked in. He thought that Steffi and Ivy were talking about the breakup, but Steffi knows they weren't. And then Liam tells Steffi at one point that Ivy questioned her character, and he didn't know why she was doing that. And after that, we see Ivy venting to Liam about the whole breakup and the fact that Steffi kept lying when she kept pushing her on what happened to Ali. And then they get to the subject of the videotape, and Wyatt says it's too dangerous and no one can see this video. We go back to Steffi, and she has a bit of a flashback of the accident, and that's where we leave things off. So we know a lot is coming. Pretty interesting episode. I want to thank you all for checking it out. Don't forget to follow us on social media as well. We're also on Google+. It's Paul. It's B&B Talk. Thanks for following.